bring them out, bring them out. It's hard to hear when the bad bells in your mouth. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them
Now I can hear you.
Awesome.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bishop Chatard High School as we bring you high school basketball on this Tuesday night. The Trojans coming in at 11-5 on the season. They're hosting the Trailblazers of University, coming in at 12-1. Tonight's game brought to you in part by IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences. Begin your journey today. Also by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Burtner Electric, serving greater Indianapolis and the surrounding counties. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation, we do it all. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, serving our customers and the community since 1955. Great to have you with us tonight. Troy Darengowski along with the coach Craig Cox in a matchup that, well, two teams kind of heading in opposite directions. You have a Trailblazer team. They've won 5 in a row. They're ranked number 5 in the latest 2A AP poll. You have the Trojans of Bishop Chatard. They've lost 3 out of 4, but still they're ranked in the top 12. In fact, they're number 12 in 3A. Coach, what do you think about this matchup here tonight, especially the way the Trojans have played? They've got some talent there, there's no doubt about it, but this University team is very, very good.
No, they are, and obviously we're back in the booth here together, just having Chatard earlier this week against Burbuff, a very good, close game, and, got two very similar programs that kind of are going a little bit opposite directions here of late. Chatard started out so well to kick off the year, winning 5 of their first 6, and then lost 1, and then won 6 more, and then they kind of on a little bit more of a losing skid now. And then what do you say about University? I mean, they're in a position where they just started this season where they just left off and getting their first sectional crown last year in 4 years, and the first one was in the 1A. They moved up to 2A and obviously got one there last year. And 12-13 or in a position of being 12-1. So, I mean, they're in a great position now, and I think that these are two teams that, again, kind of mirror each other in some similar fashions. They're two programs that really are going to try to break you down with the passing game and try to look to see what they can get in the transition game. But both of them are very disciplined, well coached in the half-court set.
Let me tell you, let's talk about the Trailblazers. And the one thing I noticed watching them on film is that their ability to get in the passing lane, their defense, their quickness leading to transition points, that was maybe the most impressive thing I saw of them so far.
Yeah, I mean, their gap defense, and this is the thing, I had the opportunity to coach against both of these coaches, and really good friends with Coach Lafferman from University, and they've done a great job over the years in terms of just their gap defense and how they do that as a unit. It's not one or two guys. It's just the cohesiveness. We talked about this before we jumped on air in terms of how they do it together. And that's a sign of a great, really not only coach team, but it's a good disciplined team that does those things out on the court.
Well, let's talk about Sabian Kane, a guy who's averaging nearly 22 points per game. This young man, only a junior, he's quick, he can shoot the basketball. The guy can rebound. I mean, he kind of just does everything.
He does, and I mean, it's like he's the onion. You peel back one layer and you get another. So, I mean, he does so many things and he does them well. This is probably one of the top 10 juniors, and I would look for him to certainly be a junior all-state player. He was a candidate going in, and he's done nothing to disappoint any of that prediction. So this kid is the truth. He's certainly answering all the projections and predictions that we had for him in the preseason. So he's averaging 22 and 4. He shares the ball well. He's good even. This is what you see, too, is he can score in different ways.
Yeah.
But the thing that I love about him is he does it and gets it done on the defensive end as well.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk about the Trojans. Where do they set coming into this game here tonight? It's coming up next right here on IndianaSRN.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid getting involved in those things. And I think that's why clients like to work with us.
Welcome back to Bishop Chatard High School. We mentioned a little bit ago that the Trojans have lost 3 out of their last 4. And they've had some quality wins this year. They've had some games where you thought maybe they probably should have won. Where do they stand right now as they get ready for this matchup? And we're down the backstretch. I mean, we're about 3/4 of the way through the boys' high school basketball season. They want to get some things corrected here pretty quickly.
You are. The schedules are in a little bit different piece. University, after this game, still has 8 games left, a couple of reschedules, whereas on the Chatard side after tonight, there's only 4 more. And so, their season shortened a little bit. And so Coach Roseman, the thing about it is you look at, even though that they were losses, 3 of their last 4, but they were to very quality wins. They bounced back against Muncie Burris, but you lose to a Brebeuf, you lose to a Cathedral, you lose, to a Greenfield Central. I mean, those are 3 wonderful programs doing some really good things. And they were competitive in those. And the thing that you want, as we know, everybody qualifies for postseason. But you just want to be able to have a good stretch of 3 or 4 games leading in to sectionals. So I think that they'll be all right. They're young. They do it in a little different ways. I think that University probably has the better balance of the 2 teams. But with Chatard, you got great things with a couple of these players that I'm sure we'll get to talking about here shortly.
Yeah, and those 2 players, one of them just a freshman, Ethan Roseman, talked a little bit about his game, and he seems to be getting better game by game. And then, of course, Robert Davidson, kind of a guy, again, one of those players who just a little bit of everything.
He does, and I mean, he's one that certainly likes to hit you with the downhill attacks, slash and get into the basket. He can hit the outside shot, but his game is more attacking, using a little bit of his length. He's got quite a bit more of wingspan than what his height shows. But then, he's one that's averaging 16, 7, and 2, so the numbers, jump off the page a little bit to you, but he's very athletic and can really play through a little bit of contact. Ethan Roseman on the other side, he's a diaper dandy, as Dickie V used to say. I mean, he's came right in. He's a coach's son, if the last name hits a bell. So, but the thing that I like him is he's one that can create his own shot. Yeah. He's not a standstill shooter. He shoots well off the dribble. Yeah, he's a guy that can really attack well too. And with his small frame, he's a really good rebounder and can play through contact on the offensive side as well.
And they have a good supporting cast. I mean, we'll name a lot of guys here tonight throughout the game, whether it's Lewis, Guy, Stifler, Semler, Knapp. I mean, they just got a lot of guys that can come off the bench, too.
They do. They play their roles well. These are guys that a lot of times the stats aren't going to jump off the page like Roseman and Davidson, but I think what they do is play their roles well, and that's a big sign of great character in a player, is where you can accept what it is your role is going to be, that the coach has laid out for you, and that you're fine with that. And so it's more of the team over me type mentality, and really that's what really makes a team, and one that sometimes can be a little bit more threat in the postseason play.
Yeah, I was going to say those are the kind of teams that do make that deep run when they don't care who gets the credit as long as they win the game.
And I'll tell you, Bishop Chatard plays in sectional 27. University in sectional 43, but I'm telling you, there's so much similarities with almost all the teams that are in sectional 27 with Brebeuf and Heritage and Guerin. And you know what? Even though University's in a different sectional, they're exactly like those teams. And so it's almost like, you have these 2 type of programs, programmatically speaking, have played the same, and a lot of the intangibles that you get with their personnel is much in the same too.
And Coach, when you play a really good team and you play a really good schedule, you can expose the weaknesses that you have that you're going to need to work on to make that run.
Absolutely. Great point, Troy. And I mean, neither one of these programs is ever shortchanged on their schedule. You have 2 of these with University being 2A, Chatard being 3A. You're going to see more of those teams that kind of jump out at you as a 3A school. But the Pioneer Conference that university's in. They're playing the Mount Vernons. That's their only loss to this point too, and they play. They already beat Brebeuf, and I mean there's some very quality opponents that both these teams will play. So kudos out not only to the coaching staff, but certainly to their respective athletic directors.
Yeah, you mentioned that Brebeuf win. That was just a 2-point win, but they also beat a good Covenant Christian team this season, 51-44. We'll keep an eye on these two teams here tonight. It should be a good one. The Trailblazers again at 12-1, the Trojans at 11-5. The tip-off starting lineups coming up next right here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Back here at Bishop Chatard, the Trojans and the Trailblazers set to do battle. Let's go to the public address announcer for tonight's starting lineups.
Starting lineup for your Bishop Chatard Trojans. Starting at guard, the 6-foot freshman, number 1, Ethan Logan. At guard, the 5'9" senior, number 2, Sam Lewis. At guard, the 6'4" senior, 13, Drew Knapp. Forward, a 6'3" senior, number 4, Nolan Stifler. And at forward, a 6'4" senior, 11,
So there you have the starting lineups. Kane, Ozlowski, Bracey, Russell, and Hogue tonight for the Trailblazers. For the Trojans, Roseman, Davidson, Lewis, Stifler, and Knapp. Coach, this is going to be an interesting matchup. Again, as we said, one team going one way, the other team still trying to get back on track. What do you expect?
Well, I'd like to see Chatard be able to spread University out a little bit more, even though they do a good job, University that is, with the gap defense. But the wider that you can make some of those for some of the penetration purposes. Chatard's been one that's been a little bit more inconsistent with their perimeter game. So I think being able to attack those gaps on the offensive side will be really key.
Davidson will jump it up against Ozlowski, and it will be Trojan basketball. Keep an eye tonight again on Robert Davidson, shooting at 60% on the year, and he has the basketball at the left elbow. Well, they can shoot from the outside. You get Sam Lewis going. You mentioned early his numbers aren't impressive, but he can shoot from the outside. Knapp, handoff now to Lewis. And, of course, here's Roseman. I think he gets better every game I watch him play as a freshman.
Well, again, you can't ever substitute court experience, and he's getting a lot of that as a freshman right out the gate. And you're right, Troy. He has shown great progression throughout this short season.
Davidson drew the triple team. The spin off the glass, no. Stifler can't get it to go. Roseman with a nice save. So Davidson, he'll slash into the lane, up and good, and he's fouled.
Well, we talked about that in the outset in the opening segment, is that's what Robert wants to do. He wants to get you downhill. He wants to use that inside hip, use his body and his athleticism and length, and you see that there. The other thing that you saw to keep that possession alive as we see the downhill attack there playing through the contact is Ethan Roseman keeping that possession alive. He attacks the glass really well, and it was a perfect example of keeping the possession alive for that conversion there.
You know what was impressive, too, about Davidson is Ozlowski is a shot blocker in the middle of that defense. There's a turnover for the Trailblazers. Lead pass will find Davidson, and they give it right back. Each team with one turnover now in back-to-back possessions as the Trailblazers in the half court for the first time. Here's Hogue. Keep it on 13, Kane. He's down here in the right corner, being fronted there by Knapp.
Well, and it's almost in a position now where it almost looks like they're face guarding, not, taking their defensive player out as they come up with a steal with a good transition.
Oh, how about the block shot there by Kane as he came back to get the block on Roseman. And here's Kane the other way, three-pointer, good.
You block it at one end and you knock down the tray at the other, so good opportunity there.
That was a nice transition there, but a steal and goes out of bounds. Nice steal there by Bracey, and it will be Trailblazer basketball. Chatard getting a little careless with the basketball, their second turnover.
We had, Chatard and Brebeuf earlier this week, and Chatard started out so well on the defensive end, but what hurt them throughout the game, especially in the second half, is their ability to sustain defensive possessions. There was just too much that they gave up in the second half in gap breakdowns. See how they'll do and carry that over here to tonight.
Trailblazers back in the half court. Collision inside. Kane made the shot just off the front of the rim, but a lot of contact there. Back the other way. Here is Lewis for three. No. Rebounded by Russell. Ozlowski in the lane. Foul call on Davidson. We'll go to the line for two.
Yeah, good job there of Andre really attacking the basket. I'd like to see him finishing more to the basket, not mind sidestepping that and finishing away, but at the same time helps with his length. I'd like for him to probably take one more crab dribble, kind of load to explode and go up strong. But he's a player too. He's got good numbers as well. He's 12, 5, and 2 on the year to this point. Gives you some good length, but can stretch you a little bit offensively as well.
Second free throws off the back of the iron. Davidson with a rebound, so 1 of 2 for Ozlowski. Well, he's got to be a good player. There's a turnover by Roseman. That's number 3.
Well, and you see the active hands. We talked about at the beginning that Kane Sabian's not one that just does it on the offensive end. He's a complete player, and that's already with the active hands where he's gotten his hands in to steal 2 of them already.
I was just going to say, when your name ends in SKI, it's got to be a
good. That's true.
Here's Russell. Feeds inside, turnover. Back the other way we go, and for the second time, consecutive turnovers.
Well, both these teams have been a little bit more careless than typical, especially early on here, where they both have 2 or 3 turnovers already.
Kane, fadeaway jumper in the lane, missed, rebounded by Knapp, and here come the Trojans again.
And University's ones that's turned it over a little bit more as we have a nice attack here by Knapp. Looks like he'll get the and one. University's a team, though, that typically, I mean, they're averaging like 15 turnovers a game. Chatard's more at the 10-11, which is, really, really good for a high school team. But it's been a little bit careless on both ends at this point. See if we'll get another 3-point conversion here by the Trojans. I jinxed him once again.
We've seen a lot of missed free throws over the last few weeks.
And this one right here, we had Chatard Brebeuf, and you recall in that fourth quarter, it's like neither team did a free throw.
That happened last night when we were at Heritage Christian.
Well, and both of these are teams that really aren't shooting that phenomenally. Chatard's at 67 and University's at 65.
Hogue misses it, rebounded by Russell, and as he turns, it goes out of bounds. We got our first substitution here. Scott Semler averaging nearly 4 points per game. Well, now you're looking at a combined 8 turnovers here in the opening quarter. Stifler up the left sideline. Better get away from that. He gets trapped. Skip past Davidson. Davidson gets it back, shoots the 3, rims in and out. The rebound put back by Stifler, missed that one. He was going to the floor, tried to kiss that one off the glass. Drive baseline, Russell. Russell then throws it behind Ozlowski, and another turnover for University.
Well, and just with Robert's attack, really good job. Defender stopped him, kind of pulled back and hit a re-attack. But the pass itself was just, those interior passes like that. One chest pass are a little tougher to handle, but, with him and throwing the way that he did there, which just made it really hard for his teammate to try to get that completed, resulting in yet another turnover.
You always used to tell your players throw it where they're going, not where they've been, right? Yeah. Sometimes that doesn't translate.
Well, and he's throwing it to the trail hand, and you got to lead him to the basket at 1-2. But, again, just a tough one to handle.
Roseman, same place near the sideline. In the ball game, Wade McAllister. Here's Roseman picking up the loose ball, shooting and missing. And then Davidson, the reverse layup, good.
Well, you see once again where we've already talked about just the athletic player that he is.
By the way, Bryce Gray has checked in for University. He wears number 3. First substitution off the bench now for University. Drives with the left hand, good, and automatic points already for the 6-foot junior.
Well, and that's what Bryce can give you. He's a much smaller guy at 5'8", but he's one that uses his body really well, handles the ball nice, and knows how to protect that ball as a smaller frame guard. He got some time last year on a team that won sectional, and was one that actually had some quality minutes as a sophomore.
By the way, another turnover for the Trojans. Davidson fumbles that one out of bounds, so now each team with 5. So the Trailblazers look to take the lead here in this opening quarter of play. The drive, and Bracey gets blocked. Transition the other way, basket, Roseman.
Well, and Ethan in the scoring column. I love how they're looking ahead, trying to advance the ball with the pass and not the dribble. You see that so many times where kids will try to dribble the air out of the ball when they got players ahead of them. So it's always quicker to advance it with the pass.
Ozlowski thought about the 3, kicks it to Hogue. Nice shot fake, the drive, the kick, good ball movement around the perimeter, and a 3 missed by Gray, but an offensive rebound. Here's Ozlowski again, another 3 missed.
Yeah, come up empty-handed, but I like both those shots. And you mentioned it, Troy, just great job of ball movement and in and outside and shifting the defense from side to side.
It'll be a kick ball. Bracey, by the way, was the one who missed the initial shot at the other end of the floor.
And anytime you're talking about how do you break down a defense, regardless of what your opponent is playing against you, it's really in 3-point parts. And one is you got to have good spacing, 15, 17-foot spacing, but then you got to move the ball and you got to move your body. What are you doing off the ball to create your defensive breakdowns?
Trojans with a 3-point lead. Davidson in the corner. Roseman for three. Can't get the roll. In there to get the rebound, though, is Stifler. Davidson, the drive, and bucket good.
Yeah, and that was just too easy. That's what he wanted the defense to do, is to bite on the shot fake, and then he's getting downhill. You kind of got to jab at him and fall off at him and make him and force him to shoot the jump shot.
The drive, the kick. Hogue for three. Yes. Seth Hogue gets his first points. We've got a timeout on the floor. It is a 30-second timeout. Want to remind you tonight's game brought to you in part by Tam's Sweet and Savory Cafe. It's a spot for breakfast or lunch. They're open Wednesday through Sunday. Make sure you try their classic breakfast and their sweet baked goods. They're located in Lawrence. If you need more information, check out Tam's at 6427 Oaklandon Road, or give them a call at 317-760-1640. And want to remind you, this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, video, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Your thoughts on the first quarter so far? 11-9. We've seen the turnovers go both ways, but we've also seen some good play as well.
No, we have, and I think uncharacteristically, you're going to see turnovers, but I think we've seen more than what we would have expected out of both these teams early on. But both of them have rebounded well, got stops when they need to, still got a very close game. I think that's been the balance that we thought with Chatard. Most all what they've had has been with the and ones or attacking the basket, whereas University has shown a little bit more balance.
By the way, Davidson out of the lineup, and there's another turnover, number 6 now for the Trojans. University attacking the other way, basket good by Bracey, and he'll go to the line.
Really got a good job of getting downhill, drawing the contact, playing through that. Whenever you get turnovers as such as University just did, and you're able to get a clean outlet pass, you got to be straight line attacking, getting downhill, especially when you're one-on-one type situations. You got to really attack the basket and try to maximize the transition points.
Bracey completes the 3-point play. Averages nearly 7 per game, his first 3. And now University leads it as we're under a minute to go. By the way, Wade McAllister has checked in. He wears number 33. He's a guy that does just about everything, too. Gets on the floor for loose balls. He can rebound really well.
And seen him take some charges. And he's one of the few that kind of gives them some length as well. This is a team that really is not possessed with a lot of size. And he's one of the few that brings that, obviously, along that you see with Stifler.
So they'll make their move right now. This is Roseman. Roseman assesses the defense, drives, and a foul call. I think they got Gray on the reach.
Certainly things there. You don't want to get silly in doing that. You had him contained. Obviously, Coach Lafferman and the Blazers certainly coming out and showing a little different look with the matchup zone. They're trying to give them a different look. I don't think we see that enough in terms of defenses changing up looks, allowing your opponent on the offensive side to gain some comfort as we get a shot here by Simler that comes up. It looks like it's going to be a foul on the Trojans.
Went over the top of the backboard, actually. Yep. Yeah. So that's going to do it. After 1, University leads it by 1.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Tonight's high school game here on IndianaSRN is brought to you in part by Pat Cherry Insurance Agency. Contact him for all your insurance needs, whether it's family, car, business, or home. They're an insurance company to serve you. Give them a call at 317-894-7000. All right. 6 turnovers by one team, 5 by the other. I would imagine we'll see that get cleaned up just a little bit now.
Yeah, I think as the game goes on, both these teams are not only well coached, as we talked about before, but usually and typically it's got a great interior post pass here to Oslowski that comes out. But, yeah, I think you're right. You'll get it cleaned up. But as soon as I say that, you get another turnover.
Maybe we better not bring it
We didn't
up
say
anymore.
they're going to be exempt from them.
Here's a 3 on the way. That's no good. Rebound Roseman. Maybe we just shouldn't bring it up anymore. What do you think?
that and free throws.
Yeah, exactly. We'll pretend they just aren't happening. Davidson back in the lineup. He got a rest at the end of the first quarter. Entry pass to Roseman. He looks inside to Feeney, and they turn it over yet again. That's 8. Hogue will stop, hand it off now to Gray.
See a lot of dribble exchanges with Hogg with the 3 here, coming up short.
Boy, they had a chance to get the rebound there. Oslowski inside, and there's the 6th turnover for the Trailblazers. And now Bishop Chatard trying to regain the lead here in period 2. Davidson picks up his dribble way out front. This is Knapp.
You've seen University work a little bit more dribble handoffs and some ball screening. Hadn't seen much of it from the Trojans just yet. Really good job here of the defensive transitioning that could have led to the break.
The drive, basket good, and Sabian Kane back to the line. He has 5.
Well, and that's the things he'll hit you with. He's got good length, and he's one that can hit you with a lot of off speed, as you see here. Get a little replay. Kind of drag, just hitting right downhill. Tough shot, though, going to your left and using your right. A good kiss off the glass, and see if we can convert this and one here.
Stephen Scott, number 22, coming into the ball game now for University. Robert Russell re-entering the lineup as well, and the free throw good by Kane. 3 of 4 from the line tonight for the Trailblazers, and they've now built a 4-point lead. Sam Lewis back in the lineup as well, gives it off to Davidson.
Kind of back in this matchup 2-3 again. Trying to look to get some ball pressure, jumping lanes here, but that's the risk you take in terms of the gamble.
Lewis missed it. Davidson with a rebound, shot up and no good. Here come the Trailblazers again. The lob pass down low, and missing the dunk is Stephen Scott. I know what you're thinking, Coach. Just get me 2.
Doesn't count as a turnover, though.
No, it doesn't. Just a missed shot.
But good job again. We talked about earlier on Chatard's break. Sabian there looking ahead, advancing it with the pass. It's just ones you'd like to be able to get back, or certainly always got to convert those.
This is Lewis. By the way, Roseman out. He's getting a blow right now. In the corner, shot on the way and missed. As Bishop Chatard comes up empty again, back the other way, and another missed layup by Russell. And then they turn it over. Boy, Bishop Chatard's going to be in double figures in turnovers before the end of the first half. Basket good by Kane, and he's going to go to the line yet again.
Well, and you know, that mentality is part of that is, hey, I passed ahead twice. I had a guy for a dunk, I had a guy for a layup. We missed them both. I'm keeping this one and getting downhill, and not only am I going to get it 2, but I'm going to try to attempt to get us 3.
Kamai Bracey back in the lineup now for the Trailblazers.
Kane now with 8, trying to convert for his 9th leading scorer in the game to this point. It's what you might expect to this point with Davidson and Kane both as their team's respective leading scorers with 9 and 7.
And by the way, that 7-point lead, the biggest by either team here in the first half.
You know, the 2-3 in a matchup zone, it's a lot of times it's going to stretch your offense a little. You want to push them to where they're starting a little higher than what you would like. On an offensive standpoint, though, this is where not only ball movement, but you got to work the high-low game. You know, really flash from the opposite blocks up to the elbow and then looking to get skip passes or your pin screens. Got Davidson doing what he does and getting downhill with the attack and draw on here, one on Kane.
Yeah, Kane picks up his first, and Robert Davidson to the line. He will shoot two, take another look at it. Okay, can get up there pretty good.
Yeah, he's got good length. You know, him and Kane both got really long legs. You'll see it here on your screen as well, and shorter torsos, but just great length with both of these. Both of them about 6'4". Kane's about 6'3", but really good length and good wingspan.
Kozlowski back in, also Roseman back into the lineup. You see Sam Lewis leaving the floor. One more here for Davidson. 1 for 2 from the line, and now make it 2 of 3. First point scored by the Trojans in this second quarter.
Yeah, and that's just tough stretches. You've almost gone 4 minutes without getting any points. Just can't go those stretches. Maybe minutes, but when you go 2, 3, and 4, just makes it hard to play that. And what it does too is it takes you out of sync, out of rhythm, and then trying to chip away at that and find that back can be a little daunting at times.
Here is Hogue in the corner, no from 3, and the rebound Roseman. Davidson. This is a good look at Stifler. Thought about the shot, and now they'll reset it.
This is where I like to see the high post. Step out and get a ball screen right here, and then you create a 2-on-1 attacking that opposite elbow. There's just got to be some different things that Chatard is doing to try to help neutralize that, to give their offense some different looks.
The Trojans want to talk about is their offense bogging down right there. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Jack's Donuts. Jack's has great donuts made and served fresh every day. They also have great tasting coffee. Stop by Jack's at 9105 East 56th Street or Jack's in your neighborhood. Jack's Donuts, the official donut of IndianaSRN. You know, not only with the boys playing this week, we start the girls tournament tonight, and that means a few teams will be heading home and preparing for softball. Others will advance in the next 3 weeks. We'll be thinking championship time for the girls.
Yeah, no, it happens pretty quickly. Obviously, we're heading into the last month, last 4 weeks here of the boys. So the draw here will be in about another 3.5 weeks. And, it's exciting time of the year as we wind down. And what a great opportunity for all these respective programs on the boys and girls side to be able to play for the rights to a sectional championship in advance of the quest of a state championship.
Stifler got triple teamed underneath. Receives back outside from Roseman. Drives, ball tipped. Another turnover. That's number 10. 2-on-1 break back the other way. And another missed dunk by Steven Scott, but they'll get it back.
They're getting it back, but I'm wondering how much more patience that Coach Lafferman's have. Say, hey, no more. You just lay the ball in.
4 points off the board.
4 points off the board, absolutely.
University keeps the basketball. Russell. Good look again at Bracey. Bracey, a heck of an athlete. Kozlowski driving and draws the foul. It may go against Drew Knapp.
Yeah, another good attack. Second time, though, that Andre's done that. And again, I'm always a big proponent of taking that extra dribble, getting deeper, one more, going off 2 feet. What he's doing there is leading and showing the ball. Even though he's drawing the foul, he's taking away or minimizing opportunities for him to play through that contact because he's leading with the ball and not so much load to explode off 2 feet and going up strong.
Kozlowski now 2 of 3 from the line. Colin Guy in the lineup now for the Trojans.
We talked about this. He's another guy. This is our 3rd game that we've had with them this year. That is Kyle Guy's younger son. I think his brother's still with the Sacramento Kings, I think.
Ball gets loose. That is Guy on the drive on the baseline, and he lost it out of bounds. There's number 11. Now, if you'd have told me before this game started that the Trojans would have 11 turnovers in the first half, there's no way I would have believed that.
Yeah, and that's what they average. I believe it's 10 that they average on a game. 12, I'm sorry. So, yeah, they're right at their average for the game. And we still got 2.5 to go in the first half as Kane pulls here on a 3.
Missed it. Ozlowski went for the rebound, was beaten there by Stifler.
Yeah, it almost looked like he got pushed in the back a little bit there, too.
How about Davidson down the lane, gets their first bucket of the second quarter.
Well, and these are things, too, that Robert's showing what his game. We talked about what he likes doing, attacking the basket. You got to be able to guard him more on the perimeter better to shut those down, channel him side to side, and not open those hips to allow that downhill attack, because that's where his comfort zone's at.
Good look here at Sabian Kane. This is Bracey down the lane, right hand off the glass and good. Bracey now with 5.
Yeah, great downhill once again. Saw the seam and attacked the basket as we get a quick one going the other way with Roseman.
Yeah, he wasted no time. 15-footer, 4 points now by Roseman.
When he's a really good shooter off the dribble and he likes it in transition, as you saw there. Really nice touch and really a tough one to hit in transition, pulling up from that 12 to 14 feet.
Bracey, nice pass. Ozlowski inside, double pump, and the bucket good by Seth Hogg.
Yeah, really good body control there for Seth to knock that down.
He now has 5. Here's Davidson again, stops just shy midcourt. Roseman back again to Stifler. Roseman will receive it at the elbow. Nice crossover. Pull-up shot no good, and Sabian Kane high to get the rebound. He's going to be fouled, and that'll be Stifler's second.
Well, I will say, as much as we've had the turnovers that we've had with both teams have done a pretty good job in the foul category. You're almost getting to half, and neither one of them are anywhere close to being in the one-on-one. So that puts yourself in a good position where you have availability of your personnel here in the second.
Nice entry underneath, and a foul will put Seth Hogg at the line again. And this is what the now 2, 4, 6, 7 times we've seen free throw shot already.
Great post-entry pass, as you mentioned there, Troy. The thing that I like, though, is what Seth did sitting on the block as he sat down on his man, really sealed his guy off, keeping him on the backside and assumed that position, which made it easier for him to draw that contact.
He now has 6. So Stifler coming out, he picked up his 3rd, and there is Wade McAllister back in. University will look to go into the locker room with a lead on the road. 1 loss this year, that was to Mount Vernon, and that was a road loss. So now you're looking at a 9-point lead.
Use that screen there.
What a block there by Ozlowski. We talked about his ability to block shots, and he got that one on Colin Guy.
And you can probably assume that University will play for the last shot. Again, we've talked about this before in different broadcasts. As you know, you want to be able to, unless you get a wide open layup, you really want to go at this at about 8, get a shot off at about 4. They're not trying to quite do that.
Hogg at the buzzer, got it to go.
Wow.
We saw 2 of those last night. We get another one here tonight at the buzzer. And what a way to finish out that first half there for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, and it's one that wasn't certainly by design. You know, again, you want to try to start your offense and get into it at about 9 or 8, maybe make a pass or 2, get your shot off around 4. They kind of got discombobulated a little bit there. Kind of ill-advised pass drew them away from the basket. Seth Hogg had no choice than to put it up with a fadeaway 3 from deep, and as we look at it here, just a fadeaway, and what a way for them to end the half feeling good.
So University goes into the locker room with a 12-point lead right here on IndianaSRN.
Today, greed, selfish interest, and barefaced corruption seem all the fashion. America needs great men of tolerance who can give honest debate to the great issues of the day. I'm seeing mostly squabbling, men squandering their time, being wolves to one another. Yet, I'm not without hope. We still have Freemasonry. Yes, the same Freemasons that helped create this country have always provided great men when needed. And today, in every city and town in America, Freemasonry is still providing that special place where young men can find their greatness and accomplished men can give something back. Yes, in this time of great hope, It is my hope that America will see that Freemasonry is a national treasure that cannot be separated from our country's future.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. Shh, we're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid's solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
I get her! Not solo!
You saying I did it?
Yeah!
Come
We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSAAfoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back here to Bishop Chatard. We're at halftime. You see University, they outscored the Trojans 16-5 in that second quarter. Here's how the scoring went. Hogue finished with 10, 9 points by Kane, 5 by Bracey, 2 points by Oslowski, and 2 points by Bryce Gray. On the other side, it was Robert Davidson with 10, Ethan Roseman with 4, and Drew Knapp had 2. So again, only 3 players scoring in the second, or should say in the entire first half there for the Trojans. Today's game brought to you in part by Hoosier Basketball Magazine. It's in its 53rd year. You can order now by going to HoosierBasketball-magazine.com or give them a call at 317-925-8200. Thanks to Kip Wessner and Hoosier Basketball Magazine for their support of IndianaSRN. The AP Boys Poll came out today in 4A. Ben Davis, a unanimous selection. They picked up all 17 first-place votes. They're followed by Penn, Center Grove, Hammond Central, and Cathedral. Brownsburg New Pal, who, by the way, lost for the first time last night. They're at number 7, then Kokomo, Jennings County, and Munster. In 3A, it's Northwood, Mishawaka Marion, Norwell, North Davies, and West Noble as your top 5. Brebeuf this week coming in at number 9. In 2A, Linton Stockton, followed by South Spencer, Wapahani, Fort Wayne Blackhawk, and this University team coming in at number 5. And in Single A, Bloomfield number 1, then it's Orleans, Bethesda Christian, Lagodi, and Morgan Township. Lutheran this week at number 8. Really no big surprises in that poll, but I'll tell you what, that Ben Davis team looks like they're for real, don't they?
No, they do, and I'll tell you, it's Coach Carlisle's doing a wonderful job. And, I was hearing another broadcast on 1070 The Fan yesterday in that if Coach Carlisle and his Giants can make the clean run to a state championship, they'll amass more wins than any team in IHSAA history.
Oh, really? Wow.
It'll be 33-0. If you guys recall, years back, Warren Central went undefeated and won the state championship, and it was 32-0. And so with them being in that position is a wonderful opportunity for them before them. But again, can't focus on that. They still got a few more games left that are real critical for them. It was an interesting matchup that Ben Davis had the other night because you had the city champs against the county champs.
Yeah.
And shout out to Coach Hawkins and the Addicts Tigers. I know IndianaSRN brought that to you. Great job with them in capturing that, which was a little bit of a surprise to most, but certainly not to Coach Hawkins and his players because it's something that they're working hard for. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think Ben Davis is up to maybe 10th or 11th in the country in the national polls as well.
By the way, let's talk about the second half. Trojans had 11 turnovers. That's one thing they got to really shore up. What do they got to do to get back in this?
Yeah, both teams got to cut down on the turnovers. I think that'll be interesting to see if University, as they come out in man now, if they throw that zone back at them. I'd like to see Chatard be able to great ball movement, interior passing here with Davidson getting the first 2, which is what they needed.
Davidson wide open.
Yeah, he's now got 12. He's our leading scorer of the game at this point.
So now University with the basketball for the first time. Are you surprised they went man right there, especially since they've had success with that zone?
Yeah, I am a bit. But I think a lot of that, to some degree, is trying to get your kids just back used to a little bit more activity. Sometimes you'll have kids, a matchup kind of prohibits you from doing that from a standpoint that it's more activity with ball pressure. But the man-to-man just gets you motions and active a bit more.
The drive basket good. Nice play there by Robert Russell, his first 2. The lead back to 12.
Here you're seeing a little bit more little half-court diamond that they're coming out in that showed a little bit of press.
And they do match up well out of this zone, and good job keeping everybody in front of them as you see Roseman with the basketball. Here's a 3 on the way, and good by Drew Knapp.
Well, great job by Drew Knapp at knocking that down, but I think the bigger breakdown there with University is it kind of got caught up where they thought they were switching, and in fact they really weren't, and it left Drew open for that, and what a great job for him being ready to shoot, but also knocking it down.
Lead still at 9. Here's Hogue. His 3-pointer's no good. They're one and done, and the rebound there by Lewis. Good look at Stifler. Young man got into foul trouble in that first half, had to sit several minutes in the second quarter.
And this is a real key matchup here with Robert Russell and Wiseman as he hit another. Couldn't tell. I thought it was a 3, but I didn't see the motion.
Yeah, it looked like it was.
It was
Lewis.
A 3.
Yeah,
coming out great. I mean, they're on an 8-2 run, I should say, to start this second.
Nice pass underneath, and boy, that looked like it was going to be a jump ball. Looks like that foul's going to be called against Bracey, and that's going to be his first. So now all of a sudden, everything kind of rolling Chatard's way.
Yeah, I've came out here and really opened things up with 2 threes and a good interior passing, which you can't do right there in terms of another turnover, costly. But yes, they came out here and cut this deficit that they had by 12, only down to 6. So really chipped away with it pretty quickly here. It's 2-possession game.
You know what bothers you about that last turnover is just basically unforced.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you're already turning the ball over, here's Ozlowski, his 3-pointer way off the mark. Davidson the rebound.
Yeah, you get these clean rebounds like this. You got to be able to hit in transition, but again, they're costly turnover once again.
Wow.
And the thing there, again, you just talked about it being unforced. And that was another one by Davidson. He didn't make the defense commit to him. So at that point, you shouldn't be giving up the rock. You go until the defense guards you. If they're not committing to you, you keep getting as deep as the defense allows you.
So now 13 turnovers by Bishop Chatard. Here is Stifler on the drive and a foul call. That may be Kamai Bracey. He just picked up number 2.
These are the areas, too, where you got to have good conversions in terms of efficiency as when you have the ball out of bounds underneath your own basket. It's more just about execution and being disciplined to run in your play.
Do you want me to mention what happened down there, Coach, just a little bit ago?
Sure.
There's a 3 back the other way by Bracey. Was that a turnover at the other end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Roseman on the drive, basket good, tough shot there by Ethan Roseman.
Talked about again that opening segment, being a smaller frame player, that's one of the things that he possesses in his toolbox is being able to play through contact. It's going to pay off well for him. This is a young man, still has 3 years to go after this year.
Shot missed, Ozlowski there to tip it in, and a timeout called by University. It will be a 30-second timeout. Industrial Sales Associates has been an electromechanical component manufacturer's representative for Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, and Eastern Tennessee for years. They say good luck to all the teams this winter sports season. For more information, contact them at 317-546-1900. We haven't seen Sabian Kane in a while. He had 9 in the first half, and I don't think he's even really shot the ball here in the third.
No, he hasn't, and really a lot in the the back part of the second quarter didn't either. Had a free throw of his last basket with probably about 4 minutes to go in the second quarter before the break, it's one that they certainly need. He's certainly a catalyst. I think that Ozlowski's done a pretty good job in trying to carry some of that, but the first half it was more about Hogue than anything, as he was the leading scorer going into half. And then
I was going to say, how about Roseman, coast to coast?
Yep, and that's again, he attacks the basket well. He's one that can really do a good job of creating his own shot as we look at it here. Dribbling through traffic, 3 guys. This is where you got to have better defense in terms of shutting down more of the lane and keeping him out, diverting him and channeling him to the sidelines and not letting him get downhill as he did.
So now the lead at 6 once again. He was at 12 at halftime, and that big second quarter by University. We'll be bringing you our trivia question in a couple of moments. Is that the Piper Logistics trivia question? Aspen Creek Grill. There's a drive basket, good by Bryce Gray. So the Aspen Creek Grill trivia question, and then all they have to do is tweet at IndianaSRN. So they get into a raffle for a gift card at Aspen Creek Grill. So what NBA player has the most career block shots? There's a drive basket, good. There's Kane. You either get Dikembe Mutombo, Hakeem Olajuwon, Marcus Camby, or Artis Gilmore. So there they are. You need to give them it again, or you think that's okay? Think they got it? That three-pointer's no good by Roseman. By the way, I was in the locker room one time when the Celtics had Artis Gilmore, and I stood next to him.
Yeah.
He's got to be taller than 7 feet.
Big, long guy.
Oh, my gosh. He didn't even have the big hair at that time. Back to a 10-point lead here for the Trailblazers. Kane again getting his first bucket of the second half moments ago. Gracie to Ozlowski. Nice drive. He falls to the floor. No call there.
Well, and it's one that you probably aren't going to get. You might be looking for that because you're going to the floor. Oh, as we get the and one and the chance for the unexpected 4-point play as you got right there with Colin Guy. But with Ozlowski's attack again, really kind of jumping off the inside leg and not getting downhill low to explode. It's like the third or fourth time as we've seen that, as we see the replay with knocking down the long ball and getting a chance for this 4-point play.
Seth Hogue, by the way, picked up the foul.
And chipping it back again, where we're at 6-point, 2-possession game once again, Troy.
We've got a timeout on the floor. It's a 6-point lead for the Trailblazers.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
You feel like treating someone special to a delicious meal? Try Aspen Creek Grill. Next time you come in, buy some gift cards for your friends. They have great food. Make sure you try that powwow shrimp. They're located in Noblesville.
I was getting ready to ask if you felt like you were going to treat me to a meal.
I'm still waiting to get mine from Keith.
I was going to say, I like powwow shrimp.
Hogue misses the 3.
Or a Sloppy Joe, or a BLT. Or
you haven't gotten your bonus yet either?
I haven't. Or donuts.
Man.
I'm giving up on donuts, though, a little bit. Jacks are good, though.
Yes.
But yeah.
Well, I'll let you know when I get mine. I'll
reciprocate.
Yeah, I will. So Bishop Chatard down by 6 with the basketball. Here's Roseman.
Kind of back to that 2-3 zone again. Trying to play matchup. They'll play you high on this to try to force you to do some things there with the ball. And it makes it a little bit tougher starting it outside of that. But this is, again, what Davison does well. Attacks the basket, uses his body well, a little inside hand finish for another and one for him. He's now got 14, trying to make it 15 here at the line and make this a four-point game. Excuse me, 3-point game with this.
Yeah, Hogue just picked up his 3rd. Watch his first step right here. When he gets the basketball and Hogue steps out, boom.
Yeah,
he had no chance.
Long step too at that.
So Davidson, good free throw, and the Trojans marching back strong here in the 3rd, down by 3.
And mind you, if you're just coming in, they were down by 12 at half.
That's
so
right.
Really had a great 3rd quarter here.
Backdoor cut. That is Gray on the baseline, off his foot and out of bounds. That's the 8th turnover now for the Blazers.
Yeah, really good job with Bryce reading the overplay. It hit backdoor. Teammate found him well. But then if you're not going up on that front side, you got to get out, and kind of got caught in no man's land there and caught a little bit of a double team.
This is Roseman. Semler staying in the ball game. They haven't subbed as much in this 3rd quarter either. Speaking of the Trojans.
Well, and I think this is a sign where you probably don't have to when you're in a position where you're having some continuity and getting some good situations from a scoring perspective. But they've also done it on the defensive end, whether it's causing turnovers or getting some stops and gotten one even with a transition basket as well.
Would I be correct in asking you that they ought to be fortunate to only be down by 3 and turn the ball over 15 times?
Absolutely, without question.
See if the Blazers will play for 1, and we've got a foul away from the basketball. They may have gotten Davidson. That's just his 2nd, or I didn't look at.
See if they got him.
Oh,
or
they
if
got
that
Knapp.
was Knapp.
Yeah, they got Drew Knapp for his 2nd.
Chasing Sabian Kane off the ball.
On the inbound, Ozlowski with the right hand. The finish, he has 6.
Oh, good. Great job of Andre reading the defense on that and taking what the defense gave him. But if you're Chatard, you just can't allow that to happen underneath, your opponent's own basket and getting beat backdoor for an uncontested layup.
So now the Trojans will play for 1 to finish out the 3rd.
Again, looking to go at about 8 or 7 here and trying to get the shot around 4.
Roseman checks the clock, gets the screen. Defender in the air, shot on the way, good. How about that? Another buzzer beater here tonight, this time by Ethan Roseman.
That's exactly how they ended the 2nd quarter. Now make it the 3rd.
Head to the 4th, 2-point lead for the Blazers.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At one point in my life, alcohol ruled supreme. It was not impossible for me to wake up just as drunk as before I went to sleep, and I used the term go to sleep loosely. I think on most nights it wasn't falling asleep, it was just passing out. There was no way I was getting out of it with my own willpower, so I decided to give Wheeler a try. And since my graduation from Wheeler's program, alcohol has not had any kind of hold on me whatsoever.
There you see the score, 2-point ball game. We have some games still coming up. Of course, the girls sectional 59 championship game right here on IndianaSRN. So stay tuned for that. They'll be playing the semifinals later this week. Of course, the quarterfinals, and most of those are tonight or tomorrow.
It's kind of wild where even on the girls' side, being sectional play already, it just seems quick.
Yeah.
But can't slow down the time. Like we said, the boys' draw will be in about 3.5 weeks. So they're upcoming. So exciting time of the year for Hoosier basketball.
Trojans in a little 2-3 zone themselves here.
Yeah, first time that we've seen it with them tonight. Great interior pass.
Oh, boy.
Gets it to drop. Sabian Kane with the 2, trying to make it 3. But great job of Gray finding the interior pass with Ozlowski and being unselfish with the extra pass and finding Kane with a little back door as Andre drew 2 defenders.
Yeah, Ozlowski will get the assist for that, by the way. And Kane, 5 points in the second half. He had 9 at halftime.
14 here for that, and I think he's our leading scorer, tied right now with Davidson.
In the corner, 3-pointers on the way and good. That's going to be Moore. His first points.
Well, and you love to have those type of contributions off the bench. No matter how much time you get, how many points you score, all those play into what the score's setting you up for at the end of this contest.
Here's Ozlowski, 15-footer straight away, good.
Yeah, great decision there. I love the opportunity. Hey, hand down, man down, guys back at the basket. They're giving that to you. Got to be able to take that mid-range shot, and now they're having to step up on that next time he's in that position.
So it's back to a 4-point lead. That's now 8 now for Ozlowski. Here's a shot on the way. Roseman can't get it to go, and the rebound by Kane, and a rebounding foul may go against Davidson. Well, take that back. It's going to be Stifler instead. Set number 4, right? But Stifler wasn't in the ball game, though, was he? Was he? I didn't see him in there, but that's number 4 on Stifler. I thought it was Davidson who was closer to getting the foul. But another big foul there on the Trojans, down by 4. Good ball movement here for the Blazers.
And good patience. You know, you like to see when players are giving up the good shot for a better shot, and that's exactly what it produced with good shifting of the defense and finding the inside for another and one.
This foul will go against Moore. That's going to be his first, and as you saw right there, the bucket good by Kamai Bracey.
That's his 10th point. Trying to go for 11 here, another double-digit score. We talked about that at the beginning of the game too, where University, has more of the balanced scoring, even outside of Kane. They got, 6 guys that are averaging, 6, 7, all the way up to 22, and so that helps when you have that type of depth.
So now it's back to a 7-point lead. Roseman to Davidson, layup good.
Yeah, great job there by Robert. Trying to get him outside, got the defense to bite on it, hit the overplay, backdoor. Great basket vision in Ethan finding his teammate for the easy basket.
That's their first basket other than the 3 by Moore. And they needed that one. Ozlowski with the drive, missed it short, got a little bit too far underneath the basket. Hogue had a pretty good pass to him, unfortunately just couldn't finish.
Yeah, try to work some high-low, get the screen there. Good job in being able to hit that. When you get those ball screens, though, you got to really attack and almost clip the hip and get more of a straight line to have that next line of defense guard you, and then you're looking to get the kick.
Here is Stifler. He's going to play with those 4 fouls. And a turnover again. That's number 16 for Bishop Chatard. They are definitely in a giving mood tonight. As you see Gray. This is Ozlowski with a left-hand spin. Forces the pass. They kick it outside to Kane for 3. That's huge right there. And timeout by University. And it will be a full timeout as the Blazers now lead it by 8. Yeah, ref reps, and then the others are just the sportsmanship thing, which we don't care about sportsmanship, so we want to bypass that. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Ref Reps. It's designed in partnership with numerous state high school associations, helping officials to hone their skills and promote unity in the officiating world. Ref Reps is for the new official and the seasoned veteran. For more information, go to refreps.com. Take a look at that last three by Sabian Kane.
Yeah, good ball movement. What you like about this is a lot of times when you get that pass in any part of the floor and the defense is running at you, expecting to make that, and you turn and make the extra pass when the defense is expecting you to shoot it, can really pay huge dividends, not only in the possession and the game that you're in, but the ones to come as well.
We're coming up on the halfway point of period number 4. This is Moore. Stifler was cutting across the lane, and I think they just called that out of bounds on Moore, and they did. 17 turnovers.
Well, and University has come up big. Chatard had cut it to a 3-4 point game, and now you're in a position where they go on a 6-0 run. So in a good situation here, and I'll tell you, Kane's feeling it now with 20 back-to-back threes, and not only that, a little bit of heat check, because that's one that you might think, hey, you don't know if you take that because you can always end a possession with a shot as such. But when you got a 22-point score, as Cash Moore comes back with his second three to answer that. But, yeah, you got a guy like Sabian Kane averaging and what he does and having the feel. He's in that comfort zone, is now with 20. But, again, Chatard, answers right back with that, still continuing to keep this a decent margin here.
University leads at 55-47.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
I want to remind you, when we're done here, the Piper Logistics Player of the Game will be announced. So stay tuned for that. We still have a lot of basketball to be played. Good start for University in this fourth quarter. They got off to a slow start in the third and saw their lead cut drastically. Ozlowski going to get fouled there by Roseman.
Yeah, great job there by Andre as far as slipping that screen. And again, the biggest key to that is the player with the ball that's creating basket vision, always having his eyes up, looking for just that, looking for a teammate that has the higher percentage shot, and that's what he found with Andre in slipping that screen there.
Ozlowski had just 2 points at halftime. That's a great pass, and
has 7 here in the second, and let's make it 8 here in the second half to give him 10 on the game.
Another player in double figures, and all of a sudden the lead is at 10. Trojans going to need a run here pretty quick.
Yeah, and as you said, there's still plenty of time, but you're getting in that area where you're approaching 3 minutes, you're down 10, and it doesn't have to come always with threes as you get one here. If you get the open ones, you can take them, but sometimes that's exactly what happens with a long ball that comes up short or caroms off, as it puts your opponent in a position for a clean transition.
Yeah, that was Guy who missed the last shot for Chatard. There's another miss by Roseman and the rebound by Hogue.
Well, you mentioned Hogue, good rebound there. I mean, he's one that had a fantastic first half from a scoring perspective. Averages 6 a game on the year, and he came out and had 10 in the first half, but has been scoreless here in the second. But doing a lot of other things for his Blazer team in providing them this possession.
Entry pass, quick turnaround hitter, good by Kane. What a big fourth quarter.
He's now got 20-22 is what I have him for.
Boy, and that lead ballooned quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, and it can get that way. I mean, sometimes, your good teams can score in bunches, and then here we are with a clean transition here.
Yeah, that was Ozlowski with the block, and then Bracey with the finish. Chatard back the other way. Here is Colin Guy, and he traveled with it.
Well, and it's certainly the lid is kind of being blown right now in terms of on the Trojans can't get anything, going on the offensive end, and then had some costly turnovers. But the bigger point to that is how University is making them pay. The points off the turnovers and, really breaking them down offensively. And I think that's a lot what Coach Lafferman's teams will do is just kind of wear you down. And we see that now with Kane's attack and now in his 24th point.
Boy, he has just taken over here in the fourth quarter. We're talking about an 18-point lead all of a sudden as Davidson, his shot is missed. Rebound put back good with the left hand by Stifler. His first two.
I was getting ready to say, that's Nolan's first points of the game.
Got a foul call.
This was maybe 2.5 minutes ago. We had like a 4 or 5 point game.
Yep.
It's now at 16.
Yeah, it happened fast. That was really fast.
Yeah, it has.
By the way, 18 turnovers for the Trojans as you see Colin Guy coming out and Drew Knapp is back in. But 90 seconds remaining. University about to win their 6th in a row. They'll move to 13-1. And they can use a lot of clock right here. They don't even need to shoot again as a foul called on the Trojans. It may be Davidson, or do we get a timeout instead? May have gotten a timeout. We did. It's a full timeout. University leads at 65-49.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a deer. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Back here at Bishop Chatard University, a commanding lead now by 16 here in the fourth quarter, and it happened very, very quickly. That was just amazing what they were able to do, and of course Sabian Kane able to put a solid fourth quarter together. And this game of basketball can be, I'm sure, really frustrating when you're on the other end of that, because you were right in the ball game, you battled back there in the third, and then this happens.
No, absolutely. I mean, what seems so close is yet so far, right?
Yeah.
Costly turnover there. I think kind of Bryce Gray right there lost a little bit of his balance and stepping over the timeline. But yeah, I think it was a situation to where, the costly turnovers, and then I think some of their offensive ability had just kind of gone south. And credit the Blazers defense as well in stepping that up, but that led to some transitions, a few Sabian Kane threes and downhill attacks, and before you know it, we're almost at a 20-point game.
And they've run a ton of time off the clock right here, not even getting a shot.
Well, and a lot of that too is the ball pressure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you see that they're not making advancements with their attacks towards the lane. A lot of this is more lateral, or what we'll refer to at times of trimming the edge and just attacking around the perimeter.
And a exclamation dunk there by Ozlowski. That kind of puts the icing on the cake on this one. Roseman on the drive, off the glass and good. But it is all University here in the fourth quarter. No need to foul here. You don't have enough time to make anything up at this point. As you see Gray with the basketball. And University showing why they are ranked number 5 in the AP poll. And they will win it tonight by a final of 67-51. And it's time to name the Piper Logistics Player of the Game. And what a game by Sabian Kane. He had 11 after 3. He scores 11 in the fourth quarter alone and finishes with 24 points. You know, University only turned the ball over 9 times, which was big here tonight. You know, the 18 turnovers by Bishop Chatard, really a telling story there too. But this University team, they play like that in the tournament, they're going to make another deep run.
They will, and I'll tell you, they did such an incredible job in the second half with those turnovers. If you remember, they had about 5 turnovers in the first quarter. So to have 5 or 6 with the balance of the rest of the game was really a great turnaround. And you know what? You can't talk enough about ball control and ball security. It just helps maximize your opportunities of possessions, and that leads to great things for success, not only in this one, but the things to come.
4 players in double figures tonight for the Blazers as they pick up the win, 67-51. Thanks to the entire crew. Great job as always. Thank you for being with us. This has been high school basketball on IndianaSRN.